back to another video. Another thing that we've recently bought is this UMI Turbo K member. We bought it off a friend of ours for a pretty good price, and we're gonna be installing it today on the SS. It should be pretty straightforward, and since we have a lot of stuff opened up, it shouldn't be too bad. I believe all we'll have to do is remove the coil packs and put our engine support stand or whatever it's called across the side and strap it up, and we'll be good. We'll try to show as much as we can while we're doing it.
All right, guys, we got the engine support bar in. We got it connected to the two manifolds. At least we did two. We weren't gonna do just one, but we did the two front ones. Let's see how it works. We have it like that, and now we're gonna begin to lift the car and start dropping that stock K member.
All right, so we're still on the process of dropping this K member. Everything on top is done. Already loosened these bolts. I just have them here just so I could remember which ones they were. That one's hanging on like that. These ones on this side are loose. They're just still in the shock tower. Everything down here is almost disconnected. Just have the power steering lines that are leaking, the brake lines are leaking, but it's whatever. Well, then all we need to do right now is do the motor mounts. You can see the motor mount bolts on both sides, and we'll be able to drop the K member pretty simple, pretty fast. After that, after we remove those two, then it's just the 6 K member bolts, 3 on each side, 3/18, and we'll be gold from there. All right, so I don't know if you can tell, but our motor's floating. Looks pretty sweet if you ask me. It's currently floating, and the K member's right here on the side. So it was kind of a bitch to do it. This harness right here got stuck on the pedestal, but other than that, it came down pretty easily. There was no real hiccups. And I'm glad we're getting rid of this shit, dude. Look how big that shit is compared to this one that my brother's bringing right now.
This big bar right here.
Look at that. This probably weighs 35 pounds. This big ass one probably weighs closer to 50, 60 pounds.
I heard like 100, no?
Nah, I don't think so. But yeah, so I'm glad we're getting rid of this. And while we're at it, we're gonna switch these ones. If you guys are heavy into the F bodies, you'll know that I think it's this one right here, that if you try to remove the steering rack, it's gonna be a bitch to do it, because this bolt is gonna go up and it's gonna hit the oil pan. So what most guys do is they flip it the other way, so the bolt comes up and the nut's right here. Some people are kind of against doing that, but we're just gonna do it because this steering rack looks kind of beat up. So down the line, I plan on changing that out.
All right, guys, we got everything assembled on the UMI K member. There's the stock one. See how big and bulky that shit is compared to that one. I cannot say that it was easy. It was most definitely a pain in the ass, but once you figure it out, it's pretty much straightforward. Now the challenge is gonna be getting it actually inside of the car, but we'll let you know how that goes. All right, guys, we ended up forgetting to show you guys how we finally got that K member in there. As you can see, as you can tell, it's already late. I forgot to record it a while ago, and now we have the full fuel system in here. But yeah, that's how it looks. It was pretty easy. The only thing that you can notice is that right here, somewhere around here, the last bolt that's right there, we couldn't get it in there. But we for sure have to figure it out, because as you can tell with the bellow, it is misaligned, the motor. It did shift, so we have to figure it out. It doesn't really look like it shifted until you really look at things like the bellow. But yeah, that's how the K member looks. All right, guys, I'm gonna start trying to swap this the white face onto the SS. I'm gonna do this because we're getting those gauges in. We have the gauge port. I don't know if you can see it back there. It's somewhere back there. I'll show you guys in a later clip. But we're gonna have gauges, and the ones that we bought are AME gauges. and glow shift gauges, and we decided we're gonna get them white. So we're gonna try to put this white face in to see it if it works, and if it does, then we're gonna go ahead and buy those gauges and with the white face, and they're gonna be chilling right here. So I'll show you guys the update after I try to get this inside of here. All right, guys, we're in the process of swapping the faces. You see I got it off. It is a pain because right here you got to first take these off. They're where are they at? Let me see if I didn't lose them. They're right here. It's two T25. I don't know, T15. That's what I used. What the fuck is the side of that? T15. And they go right here. You gotta have to take those off once you peel off this skin. Obviously, with this skin, it's just these bolts in these areas right here. You see the bolt holes? They're two 5.5 millimeters. I know it's an odd size, but I'm glad I had it. And once you get it off, there's a plug-in that's right under here. You have to get that off, and that was the most pain in the ass part. But everything from here should be straightforward, and I'll continue showing you guys if it worked or not. All right, guys, a little while later, not a little while, it's like 5 minutes later, got everything in. You can't really see anything, but moment of truth, I'm gonna test it out. I started for a bit too. Moment of truth, let's find out if it worked or not. Fucking turn signals on. Damn, doesn't want to start. Hold up. Alright, guys, right now we're gonna start installing the hard lines into the Camaro. Right now we just got the feed line disconnected, and we got the feed line disconnected under there. I don't know if you can see. Yeah, you can see. You can zoom in. Got it disconnected from there. Now I just need to disconnect the return line, and then we can begin doing the hard lines. Alright, guys, as you can see, we got the feed line out. First we had to unattach the fuel filter, and then here's the full feed line. We had to unattach it and then pull it out from the top. Alright, as you can see, we got the return line out. That one was pretty easy. There it is. It's the shorter line right here. And now we're gonna leave the evap in there, which is the center one right here that's labeled as feed, and then return, an F and an R. And now we're gonna start making the feed one, because we don't have the adapter for the return yet, but we can still mock up the feed one. All right, guys, I got the adapter of the Chevy Quick Connect to -38. Here's how to install it for you bozos. And yeah, I got it installed right there. Now we're gonna start doing the hard lines. All right, guys, we finally got the hard line in for the feed line. You see down here, here's the fuel filter. We are using a Summit fuel filter. So you can see the logo right there, Summit. And yeah, we're gonna continue on the fuel system. We're gonna install the fuel rows next. All right, guys, as you can see, I got the stock fuel rows out. Here, I'm gonna start putting in the passenger fuel row first. I wouldn't recommend putting them in at the same time. It just isn't worth messing something up, so I'm gonna just put in the passenger one first. They're the Deca 80-pound injectors. That's how they look. And yeah, I'll show you guys once both sides are in, and we're installing the crossover in the front. All right, guys, I got the fuel rows installed. There they are. They look pretty good if you ask me. Now I'm just gonna get this crossover installed. And on the back, we do have some 90 degree turns. One is for the straight feed line from the fuel filter, and the other one is going to be obviously through the whole thing, and then it's going to go into the fuel pressure regulator and back to the return. So we are going to be running a return system with this fuel system. But I'll continue recording when I have the crossover on, and I'll show you guys how it looks. Alright guys, I got everything bolted up. It is a weird shape. I don't know if you can see it, but I'm pretty sure that's because of the shape of the intake. But what we are gonna end up doing is replacing this front crossover with a 8AN, because this plug is this right here is a 8AN to a 6AN male, and then everything up here is a 6AN. But our fuel system is gonna be purely 8AN. So what I did was order some 8AN males, and then 2 8AN 90s and more hose. So I could run it with 8AN, and also I don't know if this is rated for 85, the one that comes with the fuel rail, so that's why I'm replacing it. And yeah, once everything comes in, everything to finish up back there with the 90 degrees as well, we'll show you guys. And ignore all how messy this is. This is just for now, and yeah, we'll continue when everything gets here. Alright guys, here's the full fuel system. There's the feed line, there's the return line, and then the evap staying stock. It goes into the car, passes to the fuel filter, which is right there. Passes on under the car, into the engine bay. Then the feed line goes into the back of the fuel rail. Fuel rail crosses over, and then there's another hard line that comes right here, which this is the line that goes into the fuel pressure regulator. And then from the fuel pressure regulator, there's a line that dumps down, and that's the return line. So yeah, here in a few, we're gonna go ahead and start it. Alright guys, welcome to a video. Today we're gonna be pulling another motor. This isn't for us, this is for one of our buddies that he's LS swapping a Buick Regal. And we found a Gen 4 Silverado. So we're pulling this Gen 4 5.3 out for him. And that's how it looks. The truck is all smashed, but it's relatively easy because the transmission is already out. But it is risky because the cab is disconnected. But we'll see how it goes, and we'll continue recording. Alright guys, so about 45 minutes later, we got the whole truck disassembled. There's Mr. LS right there. It's basically ready to come out. The cylinder head is fucked, as you can see. But there's another Gen 4 5.3 right there, so we're just gonna swap them over, the heads. And yeah, I'll give you guys an update once the engine's all hooked up and ready to come out. Go.
All right, so we got the 5.3 out now. We got all the motor mounts out. They were kind of a pain since both frame rails are bent. And as he told you earlier in the clip, the head is fucked up. So hopefully when they crash, based on this, the car shut off, or the truck shut off, and it didn't overheat the block. But since we're gonna swap the heads out, we'll see whether the block is good or bad.
All right guys, here's the motor. It's a 5.3. We thought it was a Gen 4, but I'm still not sure. We still have to figure it out. But here it is. We finally got it out. If you couldn't tell, it isn't for us. It's for a buddy of ours who's doing an LS swap in his G body. So yeah, I'll update you guys when we get to his house to drop it off. Alright guys, here's the 5.3 that we pulled earlier today. This is the motor of our buddy of ours that it's going into. It's an 83 Buick Regal. It's gonna have a turbo 350 behind it. He's just taking out the wires right now because it used to be a 3.8 V6. Then he put a 350 in it, and now he's going LS. We convinced him. So yeah, I'll go ahead and tag his Instagram down below so you guys can stay updated with the build with him. Alright guys, like you just saw in the previous clip, we got the car running with the new fuel system. It did have a few leaks. We had to figure those out, but once we figured them out, it worked fine. That's how we're running. Just some jigs, fuel rails, the line, the E85 line, full 85 line, full 85 fittings, and then we just bought a cheap eBay fuel pressure regulator. My brother did end up snapping the actual fuel pressure gauge, So we just put a little bung in there and some silicone and sent it, and I guess it worked because it doesn't leak. As you can tell in the clip, it does sound like it has a misfire. I'm not sure if it's because it may have a misfire or because of the no fuel system. But we'll get that figured out here soon. The turbo kit should arrive here in about the next 2 weeks. So expect an upload here soon. Sorry for not uploading for so long, but yeah. Thank you for watching this video.